The closed beta for patch 2.4 in Elite Dangerous is live, and today I'm gonna give you an overview of all the changes in the patch. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy. Again, now we're gonna go over the patch, and I'm gonna go over and give you guys a broad overview of all the changes coming in the 2.4 update. I'm not going to go into too much detail with all the individual things. I'm going to do that in separate videos later on, because otherwise this video will just drag on and be way too long. So I'm just going to go and give you a broad overview, and then I'm going to go into more details later on. So if you have anything specific you want me to go into more detail with, let me know in the comments down below the video. But let me find my notes here. Okay, so the first thing is to do with the galaxy map. Now, this is a very welcome change, and definitely a good quality of life improvement. Now, we all know before we had this maximum distance that we could plot routes to of 1,000 light years. Now, this has been increased to 20,000 light years. Not only that, they have also significantly improved on the algorithm that actually computes these routes. So let's say I want to have a look at this nebula. I mean, that's a very nice nebula. So we'll find a system out here in this area. Let's just say I'll take that system. That looks like a good system. So I'll take that, and we can see it's 13,000 light years away, but that's no problem. It takes a little bit of time, but the distance taken into consideration, this is actually a pretty decent computation time, taking the number of stars and the number of possible routes you could do to find that. I would assume they've cut some corners, and trust me, from a software developer's point of view, this is actually quite impressive. But not only have they increased the range to which you can actually plot, you'll also see here along your route, if I can get closer to the bubble, whoa, sorry. You have this new icon here with like a star and a small droplet, and it says fuel star. That's the last star you can refuel at before you run out of fuel. So you can see I have this jump, next star here, and that's probably not a scoopable star. So this is going to be the last star I can refuel at before I have to refuel. Now, I haven't really noticed any significant UI when you're just jumping that tells you this is the last scoopable star you should refuel now. I hope there's something they're going to add. Maybe I just haven't spotted it. I'm not sure. But that's a very welcome change, and it's going to make exploration quite a bit easier. Now also, we all know of the neutron route where you go from neutron star to neutron star. That's now been built in. So we can see, if I click here and say use jet cone boosts, it will now compute the route. If I plotted the route again, it will then compute the route using neutron stars. So it would send me over the neutron stars, so I would get the fewer jumps by using the jet cone boost. There we go, it's now done. I actually think it's a significant change. Let's actually go out and have a quick look. So that nebula out there is currently 246 light years. Let's see what happens. Oh, it clicked off again. I am not sure if that was supposed to do that. And there's still a few bugs. Again, this is a beta, so keep in mind that that there are still bugs in the game that will be fixed. But I'm not really sure if we can get this to replot to this system again. There we go. So now we're plotting it without the jet cone boost. There we go. Let's see what kind of jumps we have. 274. So we actually saved quite a few jumps just by using that jet cone boost. So that's something that's also implemented. Very nice, very welcome quality of life changes. Now, next thing I want to talk about, we can stay in the station here. That's the mission board. Now, there's been a lot of changes to the way missions have been handled, and missions in general. Now, the first thing that's very noticeable here, look at the amount of missions. 28, 22, 14, 9, 29, and even more if we scroll down here further down. Oh, we actually... No, okay, that's apparently for everything there is. But I've seen some agents giving me up to over 60 missions from a single agent. And furthermore, if we go in and have a look at some of these missions, you will notice, for instance, some of these data delivery missions. Look at that one. Data delivery missions. 2 million credits to go to a system 7.8 light years away. Now, I don't expect this to carry over to the main server, because if this carries over, that's going to be absolutely insane. But I've seen missions, people have posted screenshots of missions that would pay up in the billions. So I'm pretty sure that with these latest changes to the mission board, that there's something got messed up in the pricing, maybe in the amount of missions. I would be surprised if, I don't know, maybe we're going to see this many missions in the future, but I don't think that we can take the mission board for granted right now. I don't think this is going to be the final form for the mission board. I'm expecting there's going to be some bugs here that they're going to iron out during the beta period. But what they've said in the patch note that they're going to change is that they're going to try to make the missions in each area more diverse. So instead of a single station giving a lot of the same type of mission, they're going to give more different types of missions. So that might be why the number of missions is okay, because now that there are more types of missions available at each station, maybe they need more missions to actually have a variety of missions available. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that some of the pricings here is going to be changed, and that's just the bug in the game, because you can see here there's plenty of these high-paying missions through systems just next door. But also, now that we are on the topic of missions, now they have said that surface scanner missions and massacre missions, now when you kill a ship, for instance, with massacre mission, it should only count towards a single mission, the latest mission, the newest mission. Same with surface scanners. There will be the missions from Quince. If you go down and scan the beacon, it should only count towards one mission at a time. Now, that's not how it works at the moment. I was testing this out on the live stream. Well, for me, it's yesterday, but it was on Thursday. You can go back and watch that if you want. But I went actually out and I tested this, and it still works when you just scan one beacon and you complete all of them. So it seems that's not correctly implemented yet, so that's something that we might see a change of in the future. It's something I'm going to keep an eye on, so stay tuned, and I will keep you guys updated on the status of the missions as this progresses. Okay, that's enough about missions. No, it's actually not enough about missions. There's one more thing I need to talk about. If we go in here to the contacts, we now have a search and rescue, and you can see here that we can now hand in these damaged escape pods and the black boxes that you would often find in Combat Aftermath, or just find lying around from crashed ships. You would find all these wreckage components, and apparently you can now sell them in here. Now the problem is, it says in the patch note that they should no longer be illegal to pick up. Previously, when you in the live server right now, if you pick these items up, they count as illegal cargo. And it says in the patch note that have been removed, so they're now legal to pick up. Unfortunately, they are not. I have actually been out. I found some of these black boxes, and they were still illegal when you picked them up. Maybe I just went to the wrong sites. I don't know, but at least that didn't seem to work as intended. And unfortunately, when it's illegal, you cannot hand it in at this mission board. So I was not able to hand in any of these items, because it would be interesting to see how much credit you would make from this. Is this a viable option of gameplay? Is there any gameplay around it other than just go out, collect these, and go and hand them in? I don't know, but again, that's something I expect that they're going to iron out in the future. Okay, let's move on. Again, there's a lot of things in this patch. That's why I'm kind of going over it pretty quickly. But synthesizing, and people are gonna tell me I'm saying this wrong. You can now synthesize a lot of new stuff. For instance, you can synthesize limpets for iron and tin. So if you have 10 iron and 10 tin, you can synthesize a single limpet. You can now synthesize chaff for compact. Ooh, that's new composites. Haven't seen those before. There's apparently some new items here that you can get, and you can use to synthesize chaff, same with heat sinks, and also life support. And this will completely refuel your life support for just iron and nickel, which is pretty easy to get. So this is going to allow explorers to stay out longer. And the reason why the limpets especially is interesting is because there's some new modules available to us. So let's go into the outfitting and let's have a look. If we go into the optional internals here, and let's just go and look at this, replace this cargo hold, we will now see that we have, let's see if we can find them. Where are they? Here, repair limpets. We now have repair limpet controllers. And you can see here they now said they support multi-crew. I'm not sure what that actually is, but these limpet controllers are, when you fire off a limpet, they will either repair if you have no other ship targeted. They will then repair your own ship, and it repairs your hull and your canopy, but it cannot repair your canopy if it's fully broken. So it will only repair a partly broken canopy, or it will repair hull. Now it's said that this should not work in combat, so while your ship is in actual combat, this would not work. If you could wait until the fight is over, and then repair, I expect that's how it's going to work. I don't know, is it your ship that needs to be out of combat, or is it the ship being repaired? Could you have another ship sitting repairing you? That's something I'm going to look into later on. So again, stay tuned. I'm going to go into much more detail with these repair limits and see how they work. But they're here, and you can buy these as an optional internal module. Okay, for this next thing, we need to get outside the station, so here we are. That's why I moved outside, because the next thing is all about rebuying. So we need to force ourselves into a rebuy, so we're just going to activate self-destruct here. There we go. Now, while the countdown, I want to talk about bounties, because bounties has also been changed. Now, when you commit a crime against another player, and only against other players, you're going to get first of all, you're going to get a special bounty with the Pilot Federation. That's valid in every single system apart from anarchy systems. That means if you kill another player, you're going to be wanted, and you're going to be wanted in pretty much all of the space, and people can kill you everywhere. Now, the other thing is, if you have a bounty and you haven't paid off the legal fees, you will and you then shift to a cheaper ship to go out and get destroyed, aka the Suicide Winder, you will now get a penalty when you respawn. When you get to the rebuy screen, you will now get a penalty. So that means that the Suicide Winder is not going to... I haven't tested this, but the Suicide Winder is probably not going to be that viable option. You're still going to have to pay off a fine for killing other players. You cannot just get rid of it by killing yourself in a Sidewinder anymore. Now, the reason why we just killed ourselves is because we're going to have a look at the rebuy screen. Now, you can see stuff here has been changed. I could just rebuy the Anaconda if I wanted to, with all the modules as well. But in case I didn't have the money, so I could also choose the Sidewinder, of course, but it's going to be free. But let's say that I didn't have the money to actually rebuy my ship. That's something that everybody's been afraid of. You know, we always said, don't undock without having money for a rebuy, because you're going to lose your ship. What you can do now is you can go in here to your stored ships, and in here you can choose. So let's say I didn't have the money. I can say, oh, do I have... Okay, I actually have my Diamondback here. My Diamondback, you can see the total rebuy is 12.25 million. And my Diamondback, I could sell that for 12.4445 almost million. So that would actually cover the rebuy cost of my Anaconda. So if I sold my Diamondback, I would be able to rebuy my Anaconda and keep the ship. Of course, I would have lost my Diamondback, and especially if I had engineered modules on it, I would lose those as well. But it gives you a way to avoid losing your big ships if you have money just stored in other ships. So that's a nice, welcoming change as well. That's gonna help people not just lose their big ship, and then, I mean, to be honest, if you have been grinding for a big ship for a very long time, you lose it, you're probably gonna lose interest in the game at some point. I think most people have maybe not experienced, but at least have been fearing losing their ship like this. But in this case, we're just gonna repurchase the ship and get back into the station. Okay, so we have just a few more things we need to talk about. And the first one here is just gonna very quickly go over HoloMe. There's been a few changes in here. Especially there's a lot of new hairstyles. So go in, play with them. Some of them are pretty pretty funny and pretty silly. But definitely go in, have a look. And if you want to change your character, you can now get some new fancy hairstyles. Also, there has been added... on accessories, we now have eyewear, so I'm going to expect that in the not too distant future, we're going to begin to see glasses, sunglasses, cybernetic eyes available in the online store for purchase. And also, when you make a change, you can go in here and you can now make several changes to your character. So you want to maybe have different outfits, different hairstyles, depending on what you're doing. You can now save several of them here. You can also just load from that if you want to. So again, nice to see some additional features there. But now that we're talking about cosmetics, let's get into the library. outfitting here. Now, first of all, UI has been changed. Very nice. Always nice to get new UI. The other one was a little underwhelming. This one looks good. I kind of like it. If we go in here to the ship, we have all the usual. We have the paint job, the nameplates, and the decals, and the ship kits, and weapon detailing, and all that stuff. But now we also have string lights. String lights are, well, I'm not really sure what string lights actually are, but I would expect string lights to be hot colors. You probably know that you can change the colors of the head-up display, like the small radar and everything. And I think string light's going to be something like that. Not completely sure what it actually say in the if it say anything about it in the patch note. I don't think it actually does. No, it's nothing in the patch note about that. Just made a quick search there. So I would expect this to be hot colors. I mean, it would make sense. It seems like Frontier's moving in a direction where they're gonna go away from the season pass thing, where you just buy a season pass and you have access to that, and then you buy a new season pass after that season has ended. It seems like they're going more that every update's gonna be free, but they're gonna rely more on microtransaction. And of course, there's a lot of players who have who want to change their hot colors, do cosmetic stuff. So, and implementing this directly into the game is, I think, a welcoming change. Now, of course, nothing available in here, so we can't really see anything. But what I like about this is the problem with changing it with the color matrix is that often you would end up in a situation where you cannot distinguish between hostile and friendly ships on your radar. That's, for me, that's kind of a problem. So there's very limited number of hot colors that actually works for me, because I want to be able to distinguish those colors. But if it's something that's directly implemented into the game, we might be able to see some more colors that are actually designed to work and still be pretty. So I'm looking forward to this at least. But now that we are talking about the library and cosmetic stuff, more things you can see here. These are the paint jobs I have available, but now you can actually... Hello, this thing is bugged. Come on, there we go. So now when you go in here, you can now go over these different paint jobs as you normally can, but you can also go over all the paint jobs that you don't have yet. You can actually see how they look in game, and this goes for every cosmetic items. That you can actually preview them before you actually purchase them. This is the same thing with decals. If you want some special decal, you can see how does this decal look before actually going and purchase it. And if you find something that looks interesting, of course, you can go and you will have a link directly to the store that will get you to that item, and you can go in and purchase it. Again, I think that's a nice change, that you don't have to go in and have a look at what's available in the store, and then some of the pictures were, you have to go and look up a review of them, and I think this is definitely a lot better to do it that way. So that's about the... That's all about the cosmetics. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the stuff that has not been implemented into the patch. And you say, okay, he's completely lost it now. No. See, what I want to talk about is should we call it a rumor, maybe? Or I don't know. If you go into Multicrew and you ask for more info, you can now see, as usual, you can see a list of all of these ships available. Notice here, third from the bottom, the Type 10 Defender. Now, Frontier will not comment on it, but what they've said is that there's been speculation that this is maybe a rename of the Panda Clipper, and they straight out denied that that's not it. But they will not confirm nor deny that the Type 10 Defender is an upcoming ship in the game. But there was kind of, I feel like there was a little... I mean, I'll put the post here on screen so you can decide for yourself. I'm pretty sure that the Type 10 Defender is something we're going to see in the near future. What kind of ship it's going to be, that's pure speculations. I have my own theories, and if you want me to make a dedicated video on that, what I think about this, let me know in the comments. But there are lots of speculations about this, and there's some people who have actually had some pretty good points about the naming, because all we have right now is a name. But anyway, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we don't really know anything, so there's actually no detail to go into. But anyway, that was my overview of the 2.4 beta as it is right now. Again, it's a beta, so everything here is subject to change. I'll try to keep you guys updated as well as I can whenever changes are made to the patch. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give a like down below. Consider becoming a Patreon. Subscribe to the channel, maybe. And until next time, I'll see you guys in space.